Welcome into another video in my series where we're going through and testing all the weapons inside of MW3 to see how viable these weapons are for us to be using inside of our Zombies game mode. This is going to include the aftermarket parts, the aftermarket conversion kits, as well as the weapons from MW2. So if you'd like to see how weapons perform inside of Call of Duty Zombies, you have landed on the right channel. Make sure you are subscribed, turn on those bell notifications so you're not going to miss out any future uploads from myself. As well, you will find my link to my streams down below in the description. I stream on Mondays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and looking to add a Saturday morning stream. Now in today's video, I wanted to touch base on the weekly challenges and our last one for MW3, which unlocks the Jak Volt Storm for the Storm Ender, which I was intrigued to see how this was going to perform. As well, you can see the new animated camo we get for completing all 4 weekly challenges. Going to be using that on today's run as I think it looks absolutely amazing. There's a brand new event too, the MW3 Rewind. Now, sadly, I was kind of upset to see, but the only way to complete this is by running it in multiplayer. So let me know how far along you are on the new event, the MW3 Rewind. This is the operator you get for completing, I think it is the final challenge. So pretty cool looking. I think it's definitely nice to see. So let me know your thoughts on that. Now in today's video, with kind of a bit of sadness, I bring us the last aftermarket conversion kit review for MW3. The Jak Volt Storm conversion kit for the Storm Ender. So we're going to be taking that through all 3 tiers today, taking on bounty contracts all the way through. So hopefully by the end of today's video, you have a really good feel how this aftermarket conversion kit performs inside of Zombies. And at the end of the video, after I exfil from the Dark Aether, you should be able to make up your mind on whether or not this is going to be a viable weapon for you to be using inside of your Zombies game mode. So without further ado, let's get to the last aftermarket conversion kit review video for MW3 Zombies today. Welcome into today's video. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. I truly do appreciate that. Today, we're going to be diving into the last aftermarket conversion kit for MW3 Zombies, which is honestly a little bit sad to say. So today we're going to look at the aftermarket conversion kit for the Storm Ender. We have the week 4 event challenge, the week 4 weekly challenges event camo on there. So we're going to be looking to keep that. If you're new to the channel around here, when I spawn in and do weapon testing videos, we put on our perks with no additions to the weapon to make it any stronger whatsoever. Now, I did bring in a few extras with me today, as I had some things I wanted to try with this to see how it was going to work. So we've got dead wire detonators, which I'm going to put on later on to see if that actually worked. I was kind of curious. I have golden armor plates as well, and an ether blade, as I did not know how this was going to perform. So I wanted to bring in a few things to make sure that I'd be able to kind of dish out some damage in emergency situations. Normally I don't bring them in, but testing the Storm Ender previously had me wanting to bring in some extra backup, so to speak. Now I was curious to see how this weapon even worked with the aftermarket conversion kit. So you can hold down fire and get a charged shot. It seems to be working at fairly close ranges. You can get hit markers at range, and it will shoot through walls. I was really intrigued to see how this is going to perform inside of Zombies. Like, the Storm Ender, I'm not going to lie, is near one of the worst weapons possible to be using inside of MW3 Zombies. Just absolutely horrible. And taking on our first bounty, this Mimic, at white rarity with no damage upgrades whatsoever to this aftermarket conversion kit, proved to be a bit of a challenge. I've sped up a chunk of the footage because this fight took an enormous amount of shots to be able to take out this Mimic bounty contract inside of Tier 1 just at white rarity. I mean, at this point, I was unsure of whether or not this weapon was even going to be able to be viable to be using at all, period. The amount of time, the amount of damage, or lack of damage, I should say, that I was seeing using this weapon inside of Tier 1 on our bounty contract at white rarity, I was definitely concerned. Like, this was taking so long. There was so many shots needed to be taken in, and I was trying to figure out if you needed to be right up close and personal and barrel stuff for max damage, if it was best to be within 5 meters type of range for damage, if it was best to be in long range for damage. I was trying all kinds of things. Nothing seemed to increase any of the damage output at all. So, you know, I have to say, during my first fight, the first bounty contract of the day with this aftermarket conversion kit for the Stormender, I was concerned at this point if this was going to be something we were even going to be using going forward. But we did manage to finish that first bounty contract that took just way too long. So we got a perk out of that and a PAP 1 crystal, which I was definitely going to be using to show you guys how to keep your camo on your weapons with your PAP crystals. So you make your way over to the Pack-a-Punch machine. You want to melee it until that center icon turns green, and then go ahead and use your PAP crystals or the PAP machine, and you'll be able to keep your camo on your weapon for the rest of the run. So now that we were Pack-a-Punched, and after an extremely painful first bounty contract of the day, my hopes were incredibly low. Moving forward at this point to see what this weapon could do now that it had been Pack-a-Punched. Our second contract was in a spore building, so I wanted to see if this would be able to destroy a spore, and yeah, that's a resounding no. So if you're trying to clear a spore contract and you're running this, good luck. That's probably not going to work out for you. Now we come across our second bounty contract inside of Tier 1 being only Pack-a-Punched, and this Mangler, I was intrigued. Okay, so we're dishing out some decent damage right now on critical shots and on shots general, and we're hitting this bounty contract inside of Tier 1, and all we have done is visit Pack-a-Punch. So I was really intrigued, you know, to see how this weapon is going to be performing, you know, as we continue to increase the damage output, seeing as that wasn't too, you know, horrible of a fight to be doing inside of Tier 1, being only Pack-a-Punched 1 at this point. So now I wanted to throw on some Legendary and my ammo mod and see, you know, how this weapon's going to be. Let's beef it up a little bit more, grab our final bounty contract inside of Tier 1 and see just how strong can this weapon be inside of Tier 1 on a bounty contract. To pick up our third and final bounty contract inside of Tier 1, now that we're Pack-a-Punched, Legendary with an ammo mod, I was feeling somewhat confident to go and take on this bounty contract. The first bounty of the day went incredibly bad. The second bounty contract of the day was not horrible inside of Tier 1, just being Pack-a-Punched at white rarity. So I was intrigued to see how this one would do now. Legendary, Pack-a-Punched inside of Tier 1. This Mangler could care less that I was here at all. He was, you know, obviously away on vacation and did not bother. So that wasn't too bad. Like, I was intrigued. This was doing fairly decent at this point. I was like, okay. So the next thing to do is kind of push into Tier 2, as I was intrigued to see how this weapon is going to perform against a bounty inside of Tier 2, but I didn't want to go and increase the damage output right away. I wanted to keep it where it was and see what kind of damage we're going to be able to do against a bounty contract being Pack 1 Legendary inside of Tier 2. And yeah, just about everything that could possibly be happening was happening when I found my bounty contract inside of Tier 2. First of all, there was a team fighting Legacy. Reinforcements had arrived. Mercenaries were taking on my bounty contract. I had to throw my Aether Blade to get attention to our bounty and bring this Mimic outside of the Legacy fight, as I had no interest in going in there. There was a team in there and I did not need to, you know, be a part of that. So I was just kind of getting the bounty out of the way, which I thought was hilarious. And I tell you, the arms, or I guess I should be saying the tentacles on this Mimic, maybe, you know, he should be trying out for an MLB team, because holy crap, can he throw a human being far. Imagine what he can do with a baseball. Look at that. Right off a cliff. Unbelievable. Here we are using the Aether Blade to deal with the mercenaries in the area. Another amazing toss by our Mimic bounty contract inside of Tier 2. And we finished him off Pack 1 Legendary with Shatter Blast inside of Tier 2, taking on a bounty. Not too bad. Definitely not too bad. I was intrigued. So, time to take out our handy dandy pocket Pack-a-Punch machine and increase the damage output on this aftermarket conversion kit to PAP 2 Legendary with an ammo mod, and head off and grab ourselves our final bounty contract of the day inside of Tier 2. So we went off and picked up our bounty contract, and I was eager to, and also intrigued to see how this was going to perform against a bounty contract in Tier 2, now that we are Pack-a-Punch 2 Legendary with our ammo mod on. So we made it over to our Mangler, and Yeah, again, I'm unsure on this weapon. I'm not sure if you need to be up close and barrel stuffing your bounty contracts to get the most out of this for damage. If you need to be in the close range, you know, 5 to 7 meters type of deal and dishing out damage that way. I can't tell if it works better if you need to be shooting from range. Like, this weapon has definitely intrigued me and piqued my interest on how to use it best. I was definitely trying out a whole bunch of different things in this match. Now, seeing how we have done with this across the 5 bounty contracts we have completed so far across the first 2 tiers of the map, it was time to dive in and visit Der Wonderfizz machine inside of Tier 3, grab the rest of our perks so that we can run inside of Tier 3 with a little bit more confidence, knowing that we have all of the perks inside of the game. Now, when I get to Wonderfizz, I always throw a decoy. So the decoy expires, and it gives me an opportunity to see how this weapon at Pack 2 Legendary with an ammo mod is going to be performing against Tier 3 zombies. This first dog had me immensely concerned. I was like, how many shots is it going to take for this thing to take out zombies inside of Tier 3? Like, I am going to get absolutely destroyed using this. But the damage is there. I mean, it's definitely something that has the damage to dish out to the zombies. I did do a little bit of crowd control. Again, at PAP 2, still inside of Tier 3. And the damage on the first few zombies by this weapon is a viable option. Now, if you're in a large crowd with the fire rate and the limited range as far as damage goes, like, you can't hit beyond like 2 zombies. It just wasn't a viable option. So Tier 3 was packed, absolutely packed for me today. So what I did was threw on my PAP 3 dead wire detonators and grabbed a couple supplies, and we made our way off to the Season 2 Dark Aether. Now, this run, I had not been able to get really much in the way of loot. So the kind of goal for me to come into the Season 2 Dark Aether here was to go ahead and be able to possibly grab some loot, some PAP crystals, possibly some legendary tools for myself, and show you all, you know, how I complete the Season 2 Dark Aether most efficiently as a solo player. Now, we got our Mega Abomination bounty contract, showed up right there, fired up the laser attack. I got in a couple of shots with this aftermarket conversion kit, and I saw virtually 0 damage on that Mega Abomination. So at this point, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to be messing around. We're not going to be doing another half-hour fight with you Mega Abomination with this conversion kit. We're going to take out our Jug Suit, and we are going to absolutely just shred right through this Mega Abomination, all of the riffraff, crowd control inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether, and just make easy work of this bounty contract. Definitely the most stress-free way to handle this bounty contract as a solo player inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether is with one single Jug Suit. You can also access your reward rift inside the Jug Suit if you didn't know. So we finished off that Mega Abomination bounty contract inside of there. I got one of the PAP 2 crystals I was looking for, which was awesome to see, so we went ahead and made sure we stashed that. So the next contract we're looking to pick up inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether is going to be the P&D contract. So we went ahead and grabbed that. And I've been trying to see if I can show you guys the circuit turret that can spawn in on top of the P&D contract. However, in all of my recent runs on the Season 2 Dark Aether doing this one, not once have I had that circuit turret show up on top of this building. So I'm asking chat, let me find out, let me know in the comment section, is that something that only appears on an Elder Season 2 Dark Aether P&D contract, the circuit turret, because I haven't seen one in a regular one. As well, I run the Season 2 Dark Aether because there was a comment a while back that piqued my interest. And somebody in the comments section has said that they have been able to get a Disciple bounty contract inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether. I have yet to get one. I get a Mega Abomination, I get a Mangler, and I get a Mimic. I have never seen a Disciple bounty contract inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether, either Elder or regular. So let me know in the comment section if that's something that I just haven't seen and is incredibly rare, or if that's you know, something that does not happen inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether. Now, I was thankful that I brought in my Aether Blade on this run, as there was definitely not much I could do as far as damage output using this weapon inside of this P&D Outlast contract. It really wasn't dishing out much. I could maybe take out one zombie in front of me, and that was about it. So the trick for me was just to be constantly on the move, using the countertops that you can mantle over and back and forth over to your advantage to kind of keep the zombies at bay. And I did, you know, a pretty darn decent job of completing this contract without much issue until it completely ended. Right when I completed the contract, I took it down. No big deal, we got a couple extra self-revives, so just pop one, get back in the fight, check what was in the reward rift. I got another PAP 2 crystal, which I was super happy about, so it was time to dive into the Aether tear in front of the gas mall and head over to the Aether extractor, our final contract inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether. Now, when you come out of that Aether tear, just turn 180 and you'll land on the top of the building where the Aether extractor bunny is to pick up. So we went and got that up. Switched out our tacticals so that we're using the Casimirs to go ahead and complete the Aether extractor contract. And usually this isn't easy work. You throw a Casimir, stay protected, and are able to overload the reactor. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, and this was one of those times. Before that Mangler took its critical damage and was able to stop being injured, he got in the swipe and downed me. So we popped our second Casimir, not a big deal. Get back up, get back into the fight, go ahead and complete that Aether extractor, no worries. Now I was pushing forward to our second Aether extractor on the way. We've got a bunch of crowd control in behind me, and I noticed my energy mine is ready to go. So we dropped the energy mine there to handle some of the crowd control coming in behind, threw the Casimir down to protect me while I'm overriding this Aether reactor, and we're able to complete the second one without much stress right there at all. Now it was time to use my decoy, as I did not have any more Casimirs to complete this final Aether extractor. There's a bunch of zombies right there, so I said, you know what, we'll let them make their way over to the decoy. The Disciple is siphoning health off me, which is a perfect time to go ahead and complete this, as he won't be able to down me before I'm able to overload that Aether reactor. So there we are, finished all 3 contracts inside of the Season 2 Dark Aether, and damn it, I managed to lose my Aether Blade and ended up with C4. I hate it when that happens. Bloodburner key, not bad. Overall, I am still undecided on whether or not the final aftermarket conversion kit for MW3 Zombies is going to be a viable weapon for all of us to be using inside of our Zombies game modes. So let me know your thoughts and feelings on the final aftermarket conversion kit in the comment section down below. As well, there is no build, so we'll just show you guys how to unlock this through the weekly challenges at the end of the video. Make sure you are subscribed, liking, and commenting on all of the videos to get in for your best chance to win our next Vault Edition Black Ops 6 giveaway on any platform of your choice that happens when the channel reaches 7,000 subscribers. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.